Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown. I'm Josh.
I'm Mitchell.
Today we are talking about the GW FAQ for Age of Sigmar that was released on July 27th. For us, that was yesterday. For you, it was the most important day of your life. For us, it was Wednesday. Some pretty important changes.
Yeah, some like little tweaks, some clarifications, some important stuff.
Yeah, let's start with the ones to the General's Handbook.
Okay.
These are the only the new changes. So first off, you can't ever get multiple objectives and lurkers below. Sure, whatever. You can still use faction terrain in the battle lines drawn. So battle lines drawn is the one where each of the corners is an objective.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, you can't set up terrain on objectives.
Yeah, they clarified that it's objective markers, not objectives.
Yes, you can still use your faction terrain. Then again, given that they were turning off teleporting and other faction abilities,
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I'm not going to make fun of anyone who didn't know that was
legitimate question. Easy answer.
Ditto for grave sites.
Yep.
This one is one that is important to you because you had a bad time with this. If an effect would increase the wounds characteristic of a Galatian veteran unit above their required threshold, does that unit lose the Galatian veteran's keyword? Answer, no.
No. See, I said that
yes,
before.
And I agreed with you.
Yeah,
but there was some confusion.
There was.
We're not going to...
I think it is specifically Nurgle that can do this.
Yes.
Like they call out
It's
Nurgle.
Blight Kings who can do this.
Yeah. Because they are stat 4, and there's a spell to make them... wounds 4. There's a spell to make them wounds 5, which would turn off their veterans.
Yes.
But that's not the case. They just stay veterans.
It's not and it shouldn't have already been the case because the core rules do say that these things are going off of the War Scroll characteristics.
Right.
But there was some confusion over, well, does this spell modify the War Scroll characteristic? The answer is no.
Yeah. Previously, they called out that it would be like if the leader of the unit had +1 wound, and they said no, for the leader of the unit specifically, you go with what's on the War Scroll.
Right.
And people were like, oh, well, they said leader of the unit, so that means that anything else, whatever.
Glad they clarified.
Yes, and then the other part of the same thing is that if you summon...
Yeah, if I add a unit to my army after the battle begins...
That would count as a
and
veteran.
that unit is it a veteran?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yes. So I can summon pink horrors, for example.
And they are Galatian veterans.
And they're Galatian veterans.
Which is good, because that means you can't summon pink horrors that are immune to bounty hunters.
Yes.
Because that would be bad. And this ditto for battle line. I thought that was already covered, but I guess not.
What do you mean ditto for battle line?
If I add a unit to my army after the battle begins, and the unit has the battle line battlefield rolled, does that unit count as a battle line unit for the purposes of rules, battle tactics, and grand strategies?
Yeah.
I thought that had already been covered last time. I guess not.
Yeah.
I think we'd already just always played it that way because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like they get battle line and then lose it. They just have it's a part of their.
And then finally, for the first section, is it possible to T-pose for dominance in the middle of the board for the objectives on show of dominance? Yes. Yes, it is.
And again, we did call that out.
Glorious. It's easily, that is easily shut down.
Yeah.
Because you can put a giant monster there and go, fine, move me.
Yeah.
But the fact you can't do it with a clan rat in the middle just...
Hello, everybody.
Some clarifications on coalition units. We already know that coalition units do not count towards your battle line minimums, which sucks if you play Cities of Sigmar.
But they do count towards your maximum things.
For leader, behemoth, and artillery.
Yeah, which, again, I thought we went over already, but maybe that was like last edition.
So basically, there's some victory points. You need to actually activate victory points for the Prize of Galay.
Yep.
Victory points, which is, again, kind of...
No, the other one is the one that you get in order.
Yes. Yeah. And then finally for idols, which is the choose your important ones, you can't pick Croak or an Incarnate.
Which is hilarious. They call out Croak specifically.
The Incarnate I get.
Yeah.
The Croak is hilarious. But you can pick Marathi.
Yeah. She's not broken enough, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that, because remember the thing we talked about with messing with Marathi?
Yeah.
With the orb?
Yep.
Turns out that is encouraged. And that's it for the general one. It's over the pitched battles. Now, you have up the core rules,
yes, I have
which
core
had
rules.
a few changes as well.
Yeah, not... Again, a lot of, clarification things.
Yeah.
They actually... specifically, the first thing I'm going to talk about, they specifically changed their answer, like, to be the exact opposite.
Oh, yeah,
they-
that's the one I wanted to talk
The
about.
FAQ went up, and they're like, hey, so after the Galatian veterans and bounty hunters and all that, they had +1 to damage. And it
Yeah.
said, hey, if you have +1 to damage and something that sets your damage, what was the example?
The Achelian King.
Achelian King, or what's the Stormcast one?
Oh, the Fulminators.
Fulminators. And if you have something that sets your damage, that overrides the +1.
Right.
They have now reversed that and
Yes.
said that they stack.
Fulminators even better again, baby.
So I don't know why they put the first one up. If they were
Yeah,
like, wait, never
they
mind.
changed their mind.
Yeah, it's not like in this specific scenario.
You're
no.
allowed to do that, I
Yeah.
guess. Like, there's no law that says you can't.
Yeah.
um,
Scenery rules for Awakened Wildwood can no longer be used. Do any rules that interact with them stop working? The answer is no.
so basically, if your Wildwoods get smashed to rubble, you can't use the scenery rules, but any other rules in your army, which is a lot of them in Sylvaneth,
Yeah.
that still use and require Awakened Wildwoods are fine.
Mhm.
So I don't know why the Sylvaneth are mad, because if you cut down the forest, apparently it's...
It's fine.
I want to kit bash a Mega Guardian with like a chainsaw now. Just go around.
It has to be the Chaos one, though, because they have the sweeping attack.
Yes, yes.
Going to find.
That's basically it for
Yeah, that's... objective marker control. After setup is complete, but before the first battle round begins...
after any abilities used before the first battle round begins have been resolved. So there's some weird things where there's like pre-game abilities that move things.
Yeah.
This is saying that whole pre-game objective control, where you like if you have a guy on an objective, he controls it before the game starts. That is resolved after any abilities that happen before the first battle round.
Right.
Because that did matter, because there were some things where you could move people around. So for example, Bastion Karthalos in Stormcast has an ability where you can deploy and then redeploy D3 of your guys and just pick them up and move them.
Yeah.
This says that now control of objectives is determined after he does that.
Similar with Night Haunt, where you can pick up 3 units,
that's
where you can't like
that's probably the
score
far
it.
less niche one. I don't
You
play
can't score it and then get rid of it and still have it.
Right.
That
right.
makes sense.
Which makes perfect sense. Basically, objective control is determined for that first round when the round actually starts.
Yeah.
Not in this weird. It's just hammering out syntax, which is perfectly fine. We're going to skip over the Sylvaneth one because neither of us play Sylvaneth.
There's like a couple of things with the Lady of Vines that I
Yes.
think need to be clarified. Other than that, I'm not exactly sure.
It's more clarification. It's all good. There were no heavy nerfs to Sylvaneth.
Right.
There were really no heavy nerfs to much. I guess we should talk about, while my page for Skaven is loading, let's talk about what did not get changed.
Oh.
The endless spells.
The endless spells. Like, literally none of them got errata.
None of the endless spells got points changes, which points changes never happen this early. But they didn't get errata. They didn't get nerfed.
Yep.
So that includes Purple Sun. And includes Luncheon,
Luncheon.
Charon.
Luncheon. I'm gonna say luncheon because it's funnier to me.
It's the ferryman.
Yeah.
That includes the ferryman. So that still works with Thankful.
Yeah.
Like, let's,
It still works with Thankful. The Purple Sun can still nuke anything.
delete anybody who's not Marathi or a Mega Gargant.
Yep. On a roll of a 1, Cogs didn't get nerfed.
Nope, Cogs did not get nerfed. You can rub that in my face.
Although nothing got nerfed.
Yeah,
so I mean,
so I still think
like
it's coming.
If Sun got nerfed but Cogs didn't, that would be different.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you this yet because
Fine.
your time will come. Skaven! Thankful can cast
Just like we thought.
Lore of Ruin spells.
Yeah.
And so can Screech.
Yes.
Because they both have the Grace Gear.
Yeah, people are calling out specifically Thankful because he's the most popular one, but Screech
But
can.
Screech can too. I think that increases. I think that's better for Screech than it is for Thankful.
Yeah.
Because Screech needed the boost a little bit more.
Yeah.
Thankful's just still really
He's
good.
still stupidly good.
So Thankful can now skitterleap people.
I have already seen like lists of winning Skaven Skaven at winning events that were just using that rule anyway. So there were tournaments that were like, we already know this is gonna happen. So just
It's
do
a
it.
3rd edition staple.
Yeah.
And this is just, again, kind of that callback about how we thought maybe Skaven was kind of a weird 2.99999 book.
Rather than what was it? Soulblight being the last book in 2
Right.
would be Skaven.
Yeah, which was weird.
Yeah.
Less good for Master Clan. 3 claw steps ahead. This is what we
this
talked about.
This is your baby.
Yeah, this is the one where if you have 3 Master Clan units, then when you make a charge roll for the first charge roll in a phase, you can then use that charge roll for everybody in
Yes.
the rest of the phase,
Yes.
your entire army. They added the unmodified keyword. So no more using rat ogres with a +3 charge to give a +3 charge
To everything in your army.
to everyone in your army.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I also saw, okay, this was, not necessarily rumor, but I just heard that it's like, oh, it also stops rerolls, which I don't think is true, because it says use the unmodified. Does a reroll count as modified?
No, because
I
a
didn't think
reroll
so.
rerolls happen before modifications.
Yeah, so like I saw someone
in
call
Age
out,
of Sigmar, rerolls happen before modifications.
that's what I thought.
Yeah,
and
that's-
okay, so you can still use a CP reroll or whatever.
Yes, you can still re-roll that. And then use that charge roll. So this can still be good.
Yeah, it can still, it's like +1, +2, not +3 and a reroll.
Right. It can still be good. It also means you get to use that charge roll in place of other charge rolls.
Yes.
So for example, if I charge first with Thankful and he rolls a nice 7, I can use that 7 for the rest of the army, and they can still get their charge bonuses.
Yes.
So if I then charge with the rat ogres who have a +3, because you use it as the charge roll, not the whole thing, and modifiers happen after
Yeah,
rolls.
similar with the, is it the bell that?
Yes.
Yeah, the musician that lets you get +1 to your run and charge, so you still get that on top of.
I think the only musician in our arm in Skaven who gives us a +1 to charge is in Plague Monks.
No, Clan Rats do.
Clan Rats do as well. I thought they had retreat and charge, or is that their banner?
Yeah, that's the banner.
That's the banner.
It's,
Either way,
it's one or the other. I know they have it because I played with them.
it kind of sucks. Given how heavy of investment into Master Clan you had to go to get that, I don't think it was overpowered and needed a nerf.
Yeah.
Because you needed to bring 3 Master Clan units.
Yeah,
heroes.
which at the very least is what, 125 times 3?
Yes,
375 points
of Grey Seer.
for
right.
just 3 Grey Seers.
Right, and that's a lot of investment.
Yeah.
It does it brings Master Clan down in line with the rest of them.
That's fair.
Which is
Which is good.
It is, but that means none of them are very good. I mean, they're not great. Pestilence is probably the best, but Pestilence doesn't count because that's just a stacking bonus, not a thing you're trying to hit. Verminous, we've discussed, isn't very good.
Yeah.
Like, Eshin looks good until you realize that you lose the bonus to shooting when you get the 3.
See, I think the Eshin one is fine because there's so many hero hammer lists out there in the meta that it's like people are going like minimum battle line, maybe 1 more unit, some spells, and then heroes.
That's very
so
true.
getting +1 to hit and damage, hit and wound, all those.
But only in melee if you take 3 Eshins.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
that's a bonus, and it makes the bonus even higher.
And then, Molder is useless because, it brings Master Clan down to those. I'm not saying Master Clan is bad, though, because it still does have, and we talked about this, I think the better part of that Master Clan rule is still the pile-in.
Yeah.
Because it still lets you pile in
Yeah, pile in twice.
everybody, which is great.
We already did the Grey Seer one.
Yes.
The last thing is, I think it's the last thing, is the hidden weapon teams rule.
Yes.
So it used to say for each weapon team, you can hide one of them in a Clan Rats or Storm Vermin for each 10 of those. So if you have 20 Clan Rats, you can put 2 in there. Anyway, but it didn't specify like the other weapon teams. So you could put like 1 Warp Fire Thrower, 1 Rattling Gun, and 1
Doom Player
in the same unit.
Whatcha?
But you can't do that anymore. It is just
No fun allowed.
yeah, I know. So you can put 2 Warp Fire Throwers in the same unit if you have 20 more models, but you can't like do multiples across the
You
board.
can't put 2 Warp Fires and 2 Rattling Guns and 2 Doom Players, which is hilarious and should have been allowed.
Yeah.
Because it's also incredibly risky.
Yeah.
Like, because if that unit gets wiped, you lose all of that stuff.
Well, again, there's an artifact to like they don't die, but still.
Yeah.
The niche case. I mean, if you're building the list around that, you might as well bring that artifact.
I don't know.
They kill the-
I don't think Skaven Clown Car was so good that it needed to be nerfed.
They kill the 20-man Clan Rat unit and like 300 points pops out of it.
And
It sounds great to me.
yeah, I see
But,
no problem with this.
So yeah, I'm.
There's one other change.
Oh, okay. What did I miss?
A clarification. So the Doom Player has an ability where
That keeps bothering me.
the Doom Player has a rule where it gets +1 attack when it charges.
Yes.
They clarified that because their Doom Player pops out in the combat phase, piles in and attacks.
Yeah.
They clarified that if the unit it's hiding in charges, that counts as a charge.
Yeah. So they would still get it even if they pop out right there. Which
if
is
you
nice.
charge and then pop out and attack.
It bumps up the stocks on just a
And
little
the Doom
bit.
Flare is already really
Yeah,
good.
it's
Like,
pretty
those
sweet.
things are terrifying. They're squishy, and you really don't want to have one out in the open because it will just die.
Yeah.
You'll get 1, maybe 2 rounds on it. They're not quite rattling gun levels of explode,
You're right. They're still pretty crazy.
but they're halfway there.
because it's if you roll doubles or a 7.
Yes.
And 7 is likely.
Is 3 out of 12 times you roll a 7.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are the FAQs. Interesting they didn't. I would say interesting they didn't change the endless spells, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's too early.
Yeah. They might do that with like the
The winter FAQ, the winter FAQ.
or the just the, like the next data slate. I keep saying data slate. What is it in Sigmar?
I don't remember.
War
because-
scroll update.
Yes.
The next war scroll update, they're going to be like, hey, these ones have changed. Blah blah whatever.
Yeah, I don't think we will see changes to endless spells until December, until the winter
Really?
FAQ. That's my guess.
That's fair.
I didn't realize this until now, but I'm wondering if the Purple Sun is intentionally like that as another thrust in the whole bring blobs of infantry that they are trying and failing to do.
Oh, maybe
Because
because killing one guy is
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But this is basically saying, no, don't bring those big hero monsters because they could die,
I didn't think about that.
which is a really terrible way to do it.
It is.
Like, that sucks. It's not a good reason.
Yeah.
But maybe that's intentional. Or maybe I'm just giving GW too much credit.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably that's probably too much credit for GW. But anyway,
So that's the winter FAQ.
Yep.
Wow, no, that is
Nope,
not the
it's
winter
not.
FAQ. That is the summer FAQ.
Yeah.
Dropped yesterday for us, probably like last week by the time you get to that. We will probably not see you again until after Gen Con.
Yeah.
When a whole bunch of stuff is going to get announced. Yes. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going. You're not.
I'm not.
You're not going.
I've been going previously, but not this year.
Not this year. And I'll only be there for a few days, but I am pumped to see what comes out of GW for Aegis Sigmar.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see the next army?
Ooh.
Do you think we'll start seeing previews for the next force?
Well, maybe. What was the last one?
Soulblight, right? The last new army?
Soulblight is not a new army. I don't care what you say. Soulblight is not a new army.
Fine. I don't know then. Anyway, what it will be, though, is Chaos Dwarfs.
No, it won't.
Did you see that they get callouts in Warcry, the new Warcry?
I don't care. They might get a Warcry band, but they're not getting a whole army.
You don't think they'll get a whole army?
No.
Despite the fact that the Hobgrots and now the Horns of Hashut got these guys are in service to the Chaos Dwarfs
Correct.
in their write-ups.
Correct.
You think we won't get Chaos Dwarfs?
Correct.
I'm not saying we'll get them Gen Con, but you think we won't ever get them?
No. I mean, eventually GW will run out of ideas and go like, well, what did we kill before? Let's bring it back. Because they just did that with squats and 40k. But no, they're going to do the Shadow Elves before they do Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah, I would not be sad to see that because I hate Chaos Dwarves.
I hate dwarves.
Yes, you do. Well, do you hate dwarves? Are you team hate dwarves or team apathetic about dwarves? There's no team like dwarves here.
No.
Kevin's not on the
That's
the show.
What do you think we're going to see at Gen Con?
But anyway, if you're at Gen Con, come seek me out. I'll be wearing my dumb hat, so you'll know what I look like.
You going to be wearing that the whole time at Gen Con?
Probably. I am a man of incredibly bad fashion taste.
I know. You should unzip your jacket and we'd find out.
That's right. I am a walking tacky disaster, and I will be at Gen Con. If you're going to be there, find me, say hi, don't throw anything at me. You're not going to be there, but you'll be there in spirit
Yes.
because I'm putting you in a phylactery and taking you with me.
Nice.
And hopefully I'll see you there. If not, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.